I made an extensive video about this, but I'm going to make this a real short video. People always want to know what the key to selling is, and I'm going to run through these. If you got any questions, get in contact with me. But people want to know what the key to selling is. I say that the first thing that you need to do is you need to have someone to sell to. So you got to get out and you got to be creative and you got to create activity. Talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Talk to people. Put yourself out there. Business cards, these are things that you can do. You already know that. The next thing you need to do is you need to be able to be selling something that solves a problem, whether it's a service or a product. Sell something that solves a problem. And you need to believe in it. Believe in it to the point where you see that this is something that everybody should have. Even if everybody don't need to have it, you need to feel that strongly about it. I totally think that you need to be selling something that you feel that strong about. That's going to make you successful. But to just talk about when you get an opportunity to get in front of somebody, make sure that you have the activity. Sales is about activity. It's partly about activity. Okay? But make sure you have enough people to see in the course of the time frame that you have to do whatever it is that you're doing so that you can set yourself up to have opportunities. And everyone you come across isn't going to present opportunity. But if you get in front of enough people, you've got to do the math for whatever profession you're in. If you get in front of enough people that's going to that have the possibility of having the problems that you solve, then the chances are you get in front of them and you show them how much you care, then they'll care how much you know. Show them how much you care, and then they'll care how much you know. And then you'll help them. Objections. Be strong in your profession as far as expertise. Do research. There's too many internet tools that helps us that's right at our beckon. So just because you're getting a lot of objections from a particular client or potential client does not mean, the way I look at clients like that, those can be your biggest fans. If you can address concerns and problems head on, those are the best. And even if you don't know something, say, that's a good question. I've never really had to answer that question. But you know what? Let me find out for you. They'll respect that just as much as if you are answering the question right away. But if they ask you 5 questions and you don't know 4 of them, you need to go do some homework about what you do. But when you get in there and you're meeting a customer or potential client for the first time, 9 times out of 10 they're going to know you're there to sell them something. So the best thing I can tell you to do is to take their mind off sales. And you take their mind off sales by doing what I like to call like rapport. I didn't originate this. And I didn't originate a lot of this. This isn't about inventing the wheel. Group I used to work with came up with this idea of core building. And core stands for children, occupation, recreation, and emotional transition. So people love to talk about children, their occupation, and they like to talk about what they like to do as far as recreation. Then you've got to emotionally transition into why you're there. So you don't want to spend too much time doing core, but you want to spend enough time. And you've got to determine what that's going to be for you. Once you do that, do your job. Set the stage. If you're not in front of the decision power, if you're not in front of the decision makers, the buying power, still do your job, but set yourself up so that you're not setting yourself up for failure by making sure you tell them, hey, listen, there's a few concerns that I want to go over with you guys. I noticed that your wife wasn't home, or I noticed your husband wasn't home. And, just out of respect, I don't make any decisions without my spouse or anything like that. I don't like to, I like my spouse there with me, so, she can answer any and all questions. Let me ask you, let's get together again at another day and time where the both of you can be home. So we can sit down and I can go over these concerns. And you guys, I'm pretty sure, are going to have a lot of questions. I want to be able to answer both of them. I want to answer both of you. Sounds like a winner? They tell you no and they try to blow you off, or they say, hey, look, send it to me in the mail. They're telling you they're not interested. And you need to find out why they're not interested the best you can. But some people are going to blow you off. If they blow you off, give them a shot as far as trying to find out why. But if they're blowing you off again, run, because you're wasting your time. All right? When you get in front of the decision power, you know and you've agreed to lock in a time frame to get their undivided attention, or as undivided as possible, then you need to do three things. You need to talk about the problem, the solution, and the price. Talk about the problem. Attach what's important to them and how it correlates and affects them by having the problem. Whether it's their kids, whether it's the house, the circumstances, whatever. Whatever you're selling, find out how it affects them, the problem. Once you get them on board about the problem, you're now qualified to go to the solution. Solution works the same way. Talk to them about how this solution address the problem, and more importantly, address what's important to them and how it solves and eases what's important to them. Once you get them on that page about that, this is the now you need a bridge to transition to sales price. You can go into the sales price, but I'm telling you, this particular bridge is probably most important, because if you do this bridge, you're not going to leave anything on the table. And the worst thing is, people will walk out of a particular house with a sale and they'll be happy, or they'll walk away from a business and they'll have a sale and they'll be happy. But no one knows except the particular customer if they had more to buy. And there's a way to make sure you get the most. Get them to think about, if they don't do anything about the problem, take them down the maturation process of the problem and what it can develop into. Maybe how much it's going to cost them at their next stage. Maybe how much it's going to affect them. Their children, their family, their house, their living arrangements, their circumstances. Just let them know. Find out how it's going to affect them. And if you can, by all means, try to put a monetary number on it. And what I mean by that is, think of, if their problem gets to the next phase, what kind of cost they're looking at. Know that about your profession. Find out what the cost is. If it's insurance, talk about how much it's going to cost to take care of the funeral arrangements. Talk about how much it's going to cost to take care of the debt. If it's home improvement, talk about how much, replacing those floors are going to cost. And dwell on it. This is how much it's going to cost, $20,000, $25,000. You got that kind of money? No. Okay. Hey, listen, if they give you payment options, can you afford $500, $600 a month? No. What you're doing is you're trying to find out if they've got the money without putting your company in harm's way and without looking like a salesman. Once you got that hunker down and cornered, that's going to give you insight on how much money that you got to work with. That's going to tell you if the customer can buy outright. That's going to tell you if the customer has some financial hardships. That's going to tell you if the customer is going to be able to afford anything. And at that point, use your discretion. But everything is about customization. Make sure that, and what'll set you apart from everybody else is how you customize things to fit people. So you're not trying to make somebody fit what you're offering. What you're trying to do is find a way to whatever you're offering fit them. You need them. So you need their money so you can make a commission. So why not make what you offer to fit them? Even if it doesn't totally solve their problem. You're trying to take into consideration their finances because you can't overcome them not having the money, no matter how much they believe. And then what you do is once you finish, take some time and cool down things. Talk about something other than what just happened. Maybe something that you picked up along the way in relevance to their children, occupation, or recreation. Shake their hand. Look them in the eye. Make sure they understand that they made a great decision today. And you don't have to be cheesy about it. Just tell them it was a pleasure to serve them. It was a pleasure that they've allowed you the opportunity to come to their home or to their establishment. Thank them for the opportunity. And just tell them, hey, listen, if you need anything, call me. And then maybe make sure you follow up. Make sure you follow up. Worst thing people do is when they sell something, they leave it alone. They have it, they got the money. No, follow up. Because if you follow up, the chances of you going back and asking for referrals and getting them are huge. And referrals are the bloodline of any business. So if you do those things, that's a condensed version. I know it might not cover everything in particular in detail. I've got an extended version. I got an extended video. If you take a look at the videos I have provided, take a look at that. 20-minute video of me going into detail of how to do these things. But if you do these things right here for your sales business or your sales job, you will be successful. All right? Take care.